Welcome to the AP Government News Channel. Today, we invite Federalist John Benitez and Anti-Federalist Valerie Barrero to discuss the increasingly relevant matter of governmental jurisdiction over regulations on the environment. To start it off, John, can you please give us an overview of your opinions on this matter?
Hey, thank you for having me here. The federal government is able to take actions to a worldwide scale that states simply cannot do. For example, the federal government is able to directly collaborate with other countries and lobby against illegal logging in a manner that is more effective. And furthermore, at the federal level, more ambitious policies can be set that ensure stricter course of action for following through with environmental practices and policies for protection goals, along with more extensive funding for these programs.
Very interesting point. Valerie, can you please lay out your response to these claims and your opinion on the matter?
The subject of states presiding over environmental matters is incredibly important. National regulation of environmental enforcement is limited action against climate change. So according to Megan Gruis, who is a two-time BA recipient from UC Berkeley, the federal government regulates many consumer-facing products, such as like cars and appliances. And because of this, state legislators are prohibited from taking action against auto emissions, which is obviously going to degrade the air quality.
These are very interesting observations. John, what do you have to say about the federal government limiting states' abilities to protect the environment?
The federal government has a diverse enough amount of policies so that states are able to make everyone happy. According to an article by Karen H. Davis, graduate from UPenn Law School, President Trump issued an executive order titled Protecting American Energy from State Overreach, which limited hindrance to fossil fuel development. In contrast, the Biden administration's Good Neighbor Plan was designed to reduce interstate pollution.
Excellent argument. Valerie, what would you say about these diverse policies, and what would you guys say about the effectiveness of federal versus state policy?
Actually, according to Gruis, Californian automobile manufacturers were actually anxious to deregulate emissions following Trump's agenda in office for fear of having to regulate them once more afterwards during an administration change. So essentially, the oscillation of political perspectives in the federal government creates uneasy conditions for state economies. These same manufacturers actually preferred to follow California's stricter but more consistent policies.
John, how specifically do you view the effectiveness of federal versus state policy?
Success of the federal government and its iron fist cannot be negated. The infamous Clean Air Act is a federal law that regulates air emissions and protects public health from pollutants. According to the EPA, since the Clean Air Act, new heavy-duty trucks and buses are roughly 99% cleaner than 1970 models. This reflects the federal government's effectiveness in reducing pollution.
Interesting take. Valerie, do you have any counter ideas to share?
There's been a rising sentiment of the need to reserve rights to the states. In West Virginia versus the EPA, the court limited the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. This alone reflects the notion that the federal government must be constrained from overimposing on state jurisdiction, essentially.
Thank you for sharing that, John. Do you have any final remarks?
Aside from the success of the Clean Air Act, the uniformity policies across the country when laws are applied at the federal level enforces their superiority. No law applied at the state level carries the same weight and potency.
Well said. That wraps up today's segments, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in.